Yes, the brand new RWI V203 Fighter is now available on the Steam Workshop, and also, as a special surprise, for Xbox Space Engineers players, it's now available on Mod.io. Hello everyone, my name is Captain Jack and welcome back to my channel. It's been a hot minute since we've sat down and talked about another fantastic creation from the Steam Workshop. Well, I sound a bit biased as today is my creation. This is the legendary 203 Starfighter from Redwood Industries, aka RWI, aka my faction. If you've been a long-time viewer of my channel since the days of Planet Wars and Colony Survival and videos around then, you remember the RWI 203 is kind of an iconic fighter amongst my community and generally RWI as a whole. Well, lately it did appear in Space Engineers Colony Lost, the last cinematic story series I did, and will likely appear in upcoming cinematic stories as well, including maybe Space Engineers Frontier and other projects I've got in the works. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Anyway, today I've actually uploaded this one to the Steam Workshop and also Mod.io, so you can go download it and play with it yourself. I'm going to give you a quick overview of the vehicle, tell you what it's about, what the hidden features are, what you can do with it, and generally go from there. Do let me know what you think of it down below in the video comment section. I am always interested in your opinions as per usual. Also, if you are new around here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and also make sure to hit that like rating on the video as well, just to help us in the old YouTube algorithm. You can also drop a comment as well to let me know what you think of me, the ship, what other stuff you'd like to see, and what the next RWI ship you think I should actually upload, modern to the workshop, etc. I think it's going to be the Defender, but if you suggest something else, we'll have to see, because there's currently 2 ships behind us. Anyway, let's jump into this. Okay, so we've had the 203 for quite some time now. Now, obviously, many of you might recognize it is based off of the Stargate 302, which is sort of humanity's first sort of Fighter-Interceptor craft they use. So this ship was actually designed by myself and Mr. Venom. Those of you around my channel know Venom, he's one of my good friends, and me and him frequently collaborate on ships before. There was an older version of this, which we actually called the 302, which is of course based on Stargate. Here, we actually called it the 203, we just flipped the numbers around and put a V in front of it. Whatam, we've got a fighter. Hey, it looks pretty good. So this is actually a scaled back version. Originally, the 302 had 2 cockpits, we scaled it down to 1, that way it works as a nice compact Fighter-Interceptor and does rather well. This ship is almost completely vanilla up for 1 mod, which is the Azimuth Mega Mod Pack. This is linked in both Mod.io and also Steam, and you can download it. It's for the thrusters and also for the Azimuth Gatling guns down here. These things are very powerful and can rip apart armor plating in just about any time really. So yeah, I recommend these. That's kind of what makes a fighter stand out in a way. Yes, you can probably swap it out for normal hydrogen thrusters or even a couple of vanilla Gatling guns if you wanted a truly vanilla version, but you know, the options there should you want to include it, and I may upload a vanilla version to the workshop. Before we do go over this, by the way, this is not actually the same ship seen in Colony Lost and Planet Wars. The reason for that is we actually use 2 versions. This is the creative mode or survival version, then we actually have a cinematic version. So if I go all the way over here, this is the cinematic version. It can basically fly for unlimited amounts of time and doesn't have to rely on fuel. You're probably thinking, Jack, but how is that possible? If Space Engineers is creative, hydrogen runs out. Don't worry, this is how it works. If we go inside the ship, so I go through the hull, you see in here, we've got these things, which are repulsors. This is another mod from the Steam Workshop. Essentially, these are like creative mode engines in a way, and they allow the ship to actually fly around and stay up wherever it is, no matter what type of atmosphere or gravity it's actually in inside of Space Engineers. So we've got a whole range of these inside the 203, and this is our creative film mode version. Basically means we can make it look like it's still running on hydrogen engines, but don't have to worry about it when we're actually filming inside of the game. Makes a lot of sense and is very convenient for us. We're also using a 30 gigawatt deuterium reactor as well, just so the thing stays powered. I'm going to upload this version to the workshop as well. I'm not sure if it'll get to Mod.io, as I'm not sure repulsors are on there just yet, but if you did want our cinematic version to, I don't know, play around in your own worlds or in creative, etc., you can have it as well. This one's slightly faster because of no need for fuel, and also those max, like, god tier creative mode engines as well. Just keep that in mind. The version we're talking about today for the video, and the one that's currently on the workshop, is the one here. So, what special features do we actually have on this? Let me show you the first one. So me and Venom decided originally that we'd put decoy blocks in the wingtips here. So essentially, if this thing's flying as a Gatling gun fire or defense mode fire, hopefully it'll target the wingtips instead of the actual central core of the fighter, therefore protecting the pilot and also all the essential gear that typically goes with the fighter in a way. That sort of makes sense? I hope it makes sense to you. Obviously, this is Space Engineers, and if you're going up against people, they are not going to target your decoy blocks, but in an ideal world, it kind of would work that way. The ship obviously does work with Weapon Core, and I'd recommend picking it up if you're on Steam. Obviously, on Xbox, you will not have access to Weapon Core just yet. It's something to keep in mind. Now, in terms of arsenal-wise, we use 4 rocket launchers, 2 on each wing, and 3 azimuth Gatling guns. These are more powerful than your traditional Gatling guns, and as I said earlier, really recommend playing with them. They are quite powerful. We've also got the old wheels down here. I believe this is to make it look like a landing gear in a way, but we sort of kept them up there. One's ground down, so you can kind of find like a little detail there. We're just trying to find whether we go for like piping detail, or give you a gist of like a landing gear. These do come with an optional landing gear. You can apply it yourself. I typically put it right here, or on the actual rocket launcher itself. It's up to you. We've got a connector on the bottom which connects all the way through the ship, and I'll take you on a bit of a tour up here in a minute if we squeeze through. So in here, a bit of a blank space because you can't really connect these things together properly. However, it all connects up thanks to mini conveyor blocks. So we've also got hydrogen tanks linked up here as well. These are the small ones. You can't see too much in here right now because it's kind of a bit of a tight squeeze. We've got a program block in case any scripts need to be loaded. You can load whatever you want. If you want a custom fighter script maybe, the option's there, you can do it. We also have a remote control block. This is a later edition, wasn't actually in our film version, and wasn't actually in some of the other versions. The reason I wanted to include this is I kind of imagined that these fighters could be auto-controlled in a way, and I've just finished watching a Stargate Atlantis episode where a Wraith virus takes over one of the 302s and flies it around the Daedalus, so yeah, I kind of just got the gist from that and wanted to include it. It makes sense, and hopefully you enjoy it because it's quite fun. Now, in terms of handling, let's jump in and give it a whirl. Before we do that, though, these are your engines on the back. We've got 3 large hydrogen engines and a couple of ion thrusters as well. These are generally help maneuvering in space, and if you just save on fuel, you can operate in most directions with those thrusters. All right, let's switch around. I'm going to go back this way so we can fly through the fleet. And let's see how quickly she goes to 100. So full speed. It's not the fastest to jet up because we're lacking those creative engines, but this thing does have a pretty big of a kick to it. So we're going to fly around these asteroids quickly and see how it goes. So you can see the fuel is sort of draining there on the right, but it's still holding thanks to the onboard small hydrogen tanks. So it's doing well. Power's holding. We're using azimuth reactors on this as well. They are quite powerful. Not as powerful as the deuterium reactors we typically use, but they get the job done anyway in a sense. So, you know, something to keep in mind. Now, in terms of handling, she handles pretty well. He says almost trying to crash into something. But no, altogether, this fighter handles really well. I'm happy with how it goes. Obviously, it's not as quick on the turns as the cinematic version, which is to be expected. But still, you can actually have really good flexibility and control of the 203. Now, missiles aren't wired up currently. But you get the gist because I'm using Weapon Core. For this survival, you're going to do fine. There we go. Whoop. And yeah, it handles really fine, and I love it. It's fantastic. If you want to download this, it's now available via the Steam Workshop. I think I've showed you all the cool features of today. We'll be uploading more versions of this. Sometime I think we will. There's obviously the Hell Squad version from Planet Wars, and also a few more different versions. This all comes as I'm slowly updating the RWI fleet, which you can see in front of me here. I think this is the Apollo to our right. Yep, that's the Apollo. And that is the Zhenghe on our left there. There you go. So we're in the middle of uploading these ships and updating them, including the Phoenix. So being updated and retrofit. The reason for that is most of these RWI ships were first released back when Space Engineers was in a different era. We didn't have DLC. A lot of the paints, etc. wasn't around. Now it's around. I'm updating it, and we're slowly getting there. Also, a sneak peek, if you've been watching my live streams recently, this is the new RWI Destroyer we're building. It's basically a super version of a Defender. It's being slowly built, and you can see here it's coming along very nicely. Ta-da! And also, yes, the Defender here, this is the Mark II Defender. It'll be on the workshop, hopefully within the next couple of weeks. I'm just completing a bit more of an in-depth video about it, and then it'll be yours. So be on the lookout for that one. In the meantime, everyone, I'm going to leave you here with today's video. I do hope you've checked this out on the Steam Workshop, and also Mod.io if you're on Xbox, as I think that'd be fantastic. But in the meantime, I've been Captain Jack. Thank you for watching this video. It's been a pleasure bringing this to you as always. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you are new around here, and I hope to see you for more videos. Also hit that like button and comment your thoughts down below in the video comment section. You can also join my community Discord server and tell me what ships you'd like to see next, and anything from the latest SE series as well. For now, have a good evening, stay safe out there, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.